Hello, my witches and warlocks, sick and tired here. And today we are reading some more viewer submissions. If you would like to submit your own story of your bad parents, your narcissistic parents, your childhood trauma, or anything else you'd like to get off your chest, you can email me at samanthafisher1984@gmail.com. When me and my brother were 16, my mom decided to move out of our house to live with our now stepdad. At first, we didn't really mind, and us being stupid teens, we thought it was cool. Problems started to arise when me and my brother started having trouble living by ourselves, and we would have frequent fights. I also wasn't doing well in school because my mom wasn't home to help. So you guys were living by yourself? Mom just left you guys there alone? At 17, we realized how bad it was that she literally abandoned us. Oh, that's exactly what happened. When our parents decided to rent this new nice townhouse while we lived and still are living in a water-damaged old house. Not only did she leave us with no cat, I realized I accidentally said cat, meant to say car, and would only return to give us necessities or to drive us somewhere. She took the fucking couch and dining set. Me and my bro ate on the floor that night. The months after CPS was called was traumatic, and I'm not getting into it. But me and my brother are on our own again at 18. It's technically legal, but I hate this ugly house so much. We still don't have a dining set or a couch. The house is cold and I'm sleeping on a mattress. My God, that's horrible. Your mom just abandoned you and your brother? What? What about your dad? Is there no dad? And I guess your stepdad don't care. This is a first. I'm so sorry. That is horrible. Are you guys paying all the bills on the house? Like there's so much. There's so many questions. I feel like this needs more attention. Hi there. I just recently found your channel and I have a plethora of stories about my narc mother. I'm currently no contact with my mom because duh. She has no respect for me or my boundaries. In your video from about a week ago, there was a story about a mother-in-law who showed up to their home uninvited and expected to be let in. I wonder which one she's talking about because there are many that I have had on this channel. My mom, Marge, did that to me at my house. Marge, the barge, just barges in. Sorry. I was asleep because I worked night shift at the time and she was texting me, but was getting no response. So she just showed up. I woke up to her knocking on my door. I ignored her for 45 minutes? My gosh, that's how long she was knocking? Hiding in my bedroom. I eventually texted her when I needed to get ready for work, asking if she was still at my house. And of course she was. So I told her to leave. I set a hard boundary that day, but of course I was the bad guy for that. What? She was knocking on your door for 45 minutes? I would think that your knuckles would be bleeding at some point. However, that wasn't even the story I originally was going to share with you. This one requires a little more backstory. My mom always told my older brother and I that she wanted a son and a daughter. Unfortunately for her, I'm a transgender man. She tried to raise me as her daughter, pushing me to be feminine and getting upset with me when I was a tomboy or wanted to cut my hair short. She even didn't let a hairstylist cut my hair as short as I wanted it when I was a teenager because she didn't want my hair to be that short. It took a long time and a really good therapist for me to even accept that I'm transgender. When I was in the early stages of my transition, I was trying to have a relationship with my mom again, but I cut it off pretty quickly. After I got my top surgery, I met up with my mom for lunch. We were having an all right time until she looked me dead in the face and told me,
"I liked you better when you were a girl."
I swear to God, it would have hurt less if she had just stabbed me. I cut her off after that and told her I didn't want to talk to her for a while because what she said really hurt me. She then called me disrespectful for not texting her back. There's more to how this ended, but it's a lot. The last thing I said to her in person was, "I love you, but you're kind of a fucking bitch." Oh, whoa. And the last thing I texted her was, "You don't get the privilege of knowing what I do in my life." I know from my cousin that Marge, the barge, still calls me by my dead name all the time. My cousin and I are on good terms, and even if she doesn't fully grasp being transgender or the queer experience, she tries. She's even stood up for me to Marge, saying, "And you wonder why he doesn't want a relationship with you." That's about all I have the energy to type out for now. Thanks for reading. Well, good for you to standing up to Marge the barge. At least you have your cousin. That's more than most people can say. So I hope that you're doing well and that you keep that negativity out of your life. My dad was 32 when he met my mom at 16. They got married and had me when she was 19. They were very involved in church occasionally. There was a circle of them getting strung out on various substances and then going back to God. This flipping around really messed with my head. In the middle of that was neglect. They told me a lot of stuff. One of the biggest things was about body shame. They told me many times if I got fat, I'd go to hell. That's a new one. It just made me feel so awful about myself. I was never overweight either. Not that it would make it okay. There's more to all of my shit wrong with me that they had a hand in, but I guess getting this little bit off my chest is nice. Thanks for listening. Oh, well, you're welcome. And I'm so sorry. And yes, I can relate to a lot of this here. My weight was wow. The one thing my mom bullied me on the most in my life growing up was always my weight. I will never forget. It's burned into my memory. Her telling me I had a fat, jiggly ass one time. Like, I'll never forget that. And I think I was like 15 or 16 when she told me that. And I wasn't fat. I wasn't skinny, but I want to say in high school I was like a size 6, I think. Definitely not that anymore. I don't know why our moms are so obsessed with our weight. It's not something that I'll ever be able to understand. And I'm really sorry that happened to you. And if you want to share anything else, we are here to listen. Hi, Samantha. It always feels weird saying my own name. I just recently started watching your channel. My name is Cindy, and I'm 58, soon to be 59 years old. My mother and father were both some of the worst parents anyone could have ever had. I had a friend ask me one time if I could pick my parents, would I pick the ones I had? And I didn't even have to think about it, just blurted out no. Now for why. My parents, when we were little, were great. I remember doing things with them, going on vacations, fishing, swimming, and picnics. You name it, we did it. For me, the weird behavior of my mother started when I turned 13 years old. That's the age I was when my period started. And for some reason, my mother saw me as dirty after that. And on my 16th birthday onward, anytime she referred to me at all to anyone, I was the whore. Oh, wow. That is not what I thought I was going to read, but wow, your own mom. You're right. You possibly do have the worst parents in the world. At least mom's checking that box so far. I know my mother was abused by her parents, and her mother, my mama, as we called her, was evil. I refer to her as she-demon, because of how she treated my mother until the day she herself died. My father was nasty to my brothers, so I will leave him out since this is about my relationship with my mother. She, by the way, passed away at the age of 92 in 2020, and I will say this with no regret. I do not miss her. I'm so sorry. And I know that a lot of people will hear that and they won't understand, but we will understand here. One time in particular that has always rubbed me the wrong way, which shows that she was a control freak. Keep that in mind in this. I was married, still am, 37 years, with 2 young children, now grown and married themselves. My husband was an over-the-road truck driver, so he was rarely home during the week. My father had passed away at this time, and my mother had had surgery for a brain tumor just 2 months after his passing. So she came to live with us for what was supposed to be a few months. This incident happened 9 years after she moved in. I couldn't get her to leave. Remember what I said about control freak? Well, she would use my brothers against me to get what she wanted. I was working a 9-to-5 job, and my youngest son was taking swim lessons, which started at 5:45 every Tuesday and Thursday. So I wouldn't get home until around 8 p.m. The lessons ran till 7:45. Well, this particular night I was running late, so I called my son and told him to be outside when I got there because I knew if I went inside, she would harass me for at least 30 minutes.
Where you been? Where are you going? How long are you going to be gone?
Etc. So he did. Well, around 7 p.m., I got a call from my favorite brother. We are the closest in age, who lived 2 hours away, wanting to know why our oldest brother, who lived in another state, was calling him complaining about me abusing our mother. I had no clue what he was talking about, but said I would find out. So I called him. I'll call him Raymond. Well, he starts going off about how mom called him, saying I had pushed her down the stairs and broke her nose? How did we get here? And left her lying on the floor, all because she asked if I would fix her supper before I left with my son, and I supposedly went off on her and screamed, etc. Well, my flabber was gasted by this accusation. Oh, I should say so. And I told him if he believed any of that BS, why didn't he call the local police and have them do a wellness check on her? So he said, okay, I will. I came home to police cars all down my street, and my mother looked like she was about to die from embarrassment. I walked up acting like I knew nothing. What's the problem, officer? And was told what I just stated here from my brother. I said, Mom, what do you have to say for yourself? She had the audacity to look at me, then the officer, and said, you need to arrest her for embarrassing me for telling her brother to call you for a wellness check. What? Arrest this woman. She embarrassed me. The officer said, telling people you are being abused when you are not is slander, and you can be arrested for that. So I would advise you not to call your other children complaining about your daughter who you live with again, because next time we come here for something like this, you will be charged. They left and she went straight upstairs and went to bed. The next day, she acted like nothing had happened. I could not believe her. Friday that week, when my husband came home, the boys told him all about what happened, and he was stunned and couldn't believe what he was hearing. And of course, my mother said right in front of me,
"Well, you know what imaginations your boys have."
"Oh, she knows exactly what she's doing." I could go on and on with this, but this is a place to start. I have years worth. Oh, and she finally did move out after I had had enough and just ignored her. Yeah, 9 years later. Is that what you said? Thanks for reading and listening. I'm so glad I wasn't going crazy, Sydney. Yeah, they do that to us. I'm glad she moved out. And you say you can go on and on. Well, you know where to send it. Hello, Samantha. I want to start off by telling you that I very much enjoy your videos, and I think it's amazing that you made what I look at as a support channel. That was the entire goal of this channel, was a support group. And I'm so happy that you see it that way. There are some stories from my childhood that I wanted to get off my chest. When I was still a toddler, my parents got divorced and my mother got addicted to drugs. She gave my sister and I to my dad so she could get clean and work on herself. My dad remarried when I was 5. Things were good at first. We were a nice little family. Then my stepmom got pregnant and things started to change. Baby gates went up in front of the living room and kitchen, and my sister and I were told we weren't allowed to go in without permission. Pretty soon it turned into us not being allowed in at all. Oh, wow. Isn't this your house? At mealtime, our food was set outside of our door, and my sister and I would eat in our room. Everyone else ate together? What? No flippin' way. Are you serious? Oh, that's evil. When I was about 8, my mom had gone to rehab and got clean and reached out to my dad saying she wanted to see me and my sister. We met up with her and got to spend the weekend with her. During this weekend, my mother took us to get our ears pierced. When my dad picked us up, my stepmom was furious about it and called my mother to cuss her out. When we got home, she took tweezers and ripped out the earrings. What the fuck is up with the stepmom? What is wrong? What is she doing? Why is she doing this? What is happening? When we would go to my stepmother's parents' house, there was a room there that we were supposed to stay in. One day, my stepmom decided she didn't like it and decided to make us stay out in the garage. She put a blanket on the hard garage floor, gave us a pillow and blanket to cover up with, and that was where we slept. I am furious right now. Where is your father? What's going on with your dad? He's just letting this happen? Oh my gosh, I am so angry. When my sister and I would tell someone about how sad we were because we felt like nobody wanted us, they would call CPS. CPS was called a total of 3 times. She would then get pissed at us and call us drama queens. When I turned 17, I moved in with my sister and her now husband. At 18, I moved into my own place and started dating my now husband. When we started dating, my stepmom and my father started treating him like crap. They're treating all of you guys like crap. My husband is Mexican, and they asked if he was even legal. They asked if he was all there, like crazy. They did a background check on him, called him all kinds of names. I became pregnant a few months after we got together, and they got worse. They told me to get an abortion. They told me I would never be able to take care of a baby. They made my whole pregnancy a nightmare. Oh my gosh, these people are like the worst. I now have 4 kids, still married to the same guy. We moved to a whole other state and went no contact. Thank goodness. I didn't want my stepmom and dad around my kids. My kids have my mom, who has been clean now for years. They have my sister, who loves them so, so much. I'm also lucky enough to have a great mother-in-law who looks out for my kids and I. My sister doesn't understand why I don't bring my kids around them. I tried to explain I don't want them around the toxicity. I don't think I'm wrong, but wanted to ask you, do you think I should let them into my kid's life? No. Your sister, right? Your sister that went through all of this with you, she doesn't understand why you wouldn't want them in your kid's life? I don't understand how she wouldn't understand. No, I wouldn't let them have anything to do with your kids. Why? They didn't want anything to do with their own children. Why should they be allowed to have anything to do with their grandchildren? They wouldn't even let you guys into the living room in your own house. They wouldn't let you eat at the dinner table. They made you eat in your rooms. Made you sleep on the ground in the garage. She's the one person I would think that would understand the most. I mean, if you're asking me personally, I wouldn't, but I'm just one person. I'm just a nobody in a box on the internet. My opinion doesn't really matter all that much. But if you are asking it, I would say no. I would say keep it no contact and keep them out of your life, especially if you're so much happier and your kids are happy and your life's happy. No way. Too much is at stake. They did too much bad. This is only a few of the things I went through, and I would be willing to share more if you want to listen. Always. Thank you for giving me someone to talk to about it. I hope your magic is strong and your symptoms are low. That is so very sweet. Thank you. Well, yes, we would love to hear more. Honestly, do whatever feels right to you. That's what matters the most, is to do whatever you feel is right. Well, yeah, share more stories with us. Give us an update. Let us know, what's going on. We are all here for you. We're all rooting for you. Thank you so much to everyone who wrote in. And again, if you would like to share your story, you could email me at samanthafisher1984@gmail.com. Until next time, I hope your magic is strong. I hope your symptoms are low. Love you guys. Bye.